Next up, we've got Texas State and South Alabama. We've got Texas State 1-point road favorites, 61 being the total in this game. That was, everyone focusing obviously on some of the high profile, upsets like Ole Miss losing and Alabama losing. What about Texas State getting thumped by Georgia State? And they were laying like 3 touchdowns in that game against the Georgia State Panthers. Now, I know they made it close at the end, 52-44, but they were getting whipped 38-21 at halftime, by Georgia State in that game. Christian Veilleux, the Canadian quarterback, started instead of Gibson and played well, lit up that Texas State pass defense. Freddie Brock ran for 133 on the ground for Georgia State. Jordan McLeod in the offense was solid, but they didn't run the football particularly well. A lot of it was through the air. But that defense, and this is not the first time with Texas State on the road, they've had defensive issues. The loss at Old Dominion, the loss at Sam Houston State, for actually that was a neutral field, but it was still away from home. They gave up 40 in that game. They've had some puzzling performances on the road away from home at times, this Texas State team. And here they are in a spot where they are not even in the Sun Belt picture anymore as far as the championship. And they're laying a point on the road after what I saw last week against this surging what am I missing here? This South Alabama team that's 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games, that is rolling offensively, that has obviously got Gio Lopez doing a great job at the quarterback spot. Fluff Bothwell, one of my favorite names, going, running the ball well for this Jaguars team. Jamal Pritchett, big-time receiver. They got weapons. They have a good O-line. Texas State hasn't been able to stop multiple teams now on the road. I'm shocked Texas State is favored here. I think part of this is people thought this Texas State team was going to be better than they've been coming into the season. They're clearly not. They've been overvalued, overrated much of the year. South Alabama's playing to get in the Sun Belt Championship game. If they win, they would need a Louisiana loss to be in the Sun Belt Championship game. So they don't control their own destiny in the Sun Belt West Division. But South Alabama can get their way to the Sun Belt Championship game. If they win plus Louisiana, the Cajuns lose. That would get South out. So there is something to play for here for South Bama. I like South Bama. Give me them here as a small home underdog. Probably lean to the over, too. I think we should see some points scored. C-Mac, what do you think? Texas State, South Alabama.
Yeah, on the total, it just is a little bit too high, I thought, when I was going through this last night. Like, this is the 57 number. They're going to be all over it. So pretty sharp here on the total. And when these teams, man, get together, usually there's been plenty of points. South Alabama should be able to run it, well. They've done it all year. What was it? Almost 200 yards, 22nd in the country. They've been pretty good. So I think they'll have plenty of success. Lopez has been solid. He's clean. I think definitely they're in this game. Texas State's just been puzzling. I got against them, and won a couple, have lost a couple. I don't think they're very good. And they've looked great in other games. And they've looked horrible, like last week is a huge favorite. Just turnovers. It was just awful. Awful, awful. One thing with McLeod, he's got to take care of the ball if he does. They should be able to throw it on. The one problem with that South Alabama is their defense a little bit. Their secondary, they give up some yards. 115 in the country, give up almost 260. And that's been the strength for Texas State. 30th, get 266 with McLeod. But I agree with you. I think it's South Alabama or nothing in this game. Like, momentum's rolling with them. You want to back Texas State on the road? I don't at all.
I would agree with that. All